Hello and welcome to my live Forever in Motion Facebook class. I'm going to do a little bit of a shorter class today, just thinking that sometimes we might not have a full hour to do a workout. So a short 30 to 35 minute class can oftentimes get the job done. So let's give this a try here today. So let's start with a march. Know that you always have 3 options to participate in our classes. So you can choose to do the exercises seated on the front half of your chair, sitting up tall with our back away from the back of the chair. We could be standing behind our chair with our fingertips on our chair for support, just in case we need it. Or if you don't feel like you need that chair for support, standing back just a little bit away from the back of your chair and doing your exercises. I'm going to choose to do it beside my chair, just so that you can see me a little bit better than if I was standing behind my chair. So let's get started. Let's start with a toe tap in front, swinging the arms opposite arm to opposite leg. And I think if you're joining online here, you've probably met me before, but in case you haven't, my name is Kimberly, and I'm one of the recreation therapists with the Forever in Motion team. So I'm swinging opposite arm, opposite leg here. And that way I get a little bit of a stretch through my hips, through my back. Seated will look exactly the same way. And then if you want that chair for support in front, you could always be holding on to the chair there if you're just feeling a little unsteady today. Make sure you're standing nice and tall. We always want to think about having good posture. So thinking about our ABCs of posture. Abdominals in, bum tucked, chest lifted, and chin tucked. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that tap to the side here now. Alternating sides. What is easiest on our brain is when our arms and legs are going in the same direction. So if you'd like to start with this, that's just fine. If you'd like, you can alternate arms and legs just a little bit harder on the brain. And then if you really would like a challenge, you can have arms go in a completely different direction. In this case, my arms going forward and back as those legs are still going to the side. So lots of options for you to choose from here today. And 4, 3, 2, 1, and march. So we've done some taps to the side, taps to the front. Now let's try some taps back. So tap back together, tap back together. Again, this will look exactly the same and seated, but you're slightly tapping underneath your chair. Great. And we're standing up nice and tall. Again, thinking about our ABCs of posture. Abdominals in, bum tucked, chest lifted, and chin tucked. And know that you can always slow down or speed up depending on how you are feeling today. And we're looking for about a 5-minute warm-up before we get started on any strength, balance, or flexibility things to get those muscles warmed up before our upcoming workout. 4, 3, 2, and last one, march it out. Let's do one last exercise, wide and narrow, wide, wide, narrow, narrow, wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Now if you'd like to add some arms, I like to do a little bit of rotator cuff with that. So keeping those elbows nice and close to the side and those arms are rotating out. Okay, so you'll notice we're leading with one leg. One leg's always starting the movement. We'll do 2 more and then we're going to switch our lead leg Last time, switch to the other side. Other side starts. Good. Get to work on being even on both sides. Looking great. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Okay, march it out. Very nice. Okay, let's roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Just a little reset. So we have nice posture. Again, nice deep breath in. Bring those shoulders up towards the ears, back and down. And one more time. Good. Okay, we'll gradually bring that heart rate down just a little bit. For some of us, we might have increased our heart rate. We might have increased our breathing rate a little bit. We do want to get that body warmed up for our upcoming strength exercises that we're about to do. But we want to also make sure we cool down the body before we stop completely. Let's take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Again, nice deep breath in. Great. Okay, let's grab a quick drink of water here. Thanks for joining me live today. And for those of you who are joining me at another time, welcome as well. So today I want to focus on band work here. We always want to work from big muscle groups to small muscle groups. So let's start by here with some back and chest work. So I'm going to sit on my chair. I'm going to sit on it on my side so you can see me a little bit better. You'll sit normally on your chair, but I'm going to extend my feet out in front. I'm going to take my band and I'm going to wrap it around my feet. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Again, thinking about those ABCs of posture. So sit up tall, abdominals in, bum tucked, chest lifted. And then make sure you have a little bit of tension on that band, enough to give you just a little bit of resistance. And I'm going to bring my hands to my hips and then slowly lower back down. Squeezing my shoulder blades together in the back. And this is working a little bit of our lower back muscles or our lats along our side. If we're really thinking about squeezing the shoulder blades together in the back, you might also feel this in your rhomboids or between your shoulder blades, a little bit of the upper back too. And then with all of that to think about, also remembering to breathe. So thinking about exhaling as you bring those hands to the hips and inhaling as you release those hands back down. And let's see about 2 more. I do approximately 10 to 12 repetitions, but know that more important than the number that you are doing is that you're going to the point where you are starting to feel that. You're starting to feel just a little bit of muscle fatigue as you do that exercise. Let's take our band. Again, you can stay seated or you can do this standing. I'm going to take my band, I'm going to extend my band out in front with one hand. I'm going to take my other hand and I'm going to cross on top. So my hands will be crossed, grasping onto my band, seated or standing with good posture. And we're going to squeeze the band away and then slowly bring it back. We're only going to do about 5 or 6 on one side, and then we're going to switch to do 5 or 6 on the other side. And that's because our upper arm, or the arm on top, tends to kind of take over the bottom arm a little bit. It's going to feel slightly different when we switch our hand position. So let's just do one more, and then we'll switch. Okay. So now I want you to release with that underarm. I'm going to bring that arm on top and grasp on. Let's do that same thing. 5 or 6 more times. Oh, that does feel different. Good. Again, breathing at the same time. Thinking about good posture, standing or seated as tall as we can. And let's do 2 more. And last one. Good. So that one was for our chest because we're actually squeezing our arms together there, you can see. This next one, we're gonna actually pull our arms apart. So it looks similar, but this one's gonna be for our back. So my hands are gonna be about chest height here. I'm gonna squeeze my shoulder blades together in the back and then slowly release. Squeeze my shoulder blades together in the back and release. So this is a little bit of upper back exercise here now, or strengthening. We actually like to encourage in Forever in Motion to do 2 back exercises for every 1 chest exercise. And that's because so much of the time we have our shoulders round forward, we're on our computer, we're driving, we're on our laptop or iPhone or iPad, and we have a lot of movement or positions where our shoulders are rounded forward. So this here strengthens up that upper back and reverses some of that happens throughout our day. And let's see 2 more. And last one. Now, no, you can always stop sooner if you've had enough, or if that's not quite enough for you, feel free to do a couple more repetitions. That's it. We want to go to the point where we're starting to feel that. I'm starting to feel that my shoulders just a little bit. Let's give our upper body just a little bit of a break here now, and let's do some squats. So we're going to always use our chair for support here. And if you really feel like you're unsteady on your feet, then I would recommend that you actually have a chair in front of you and a chair behind you. If you feel like you're pretty confident with your balance, then I'll just get you to stand behind your chair. Level 1 being that you know you need that chair for support, so you're going to put both hands on the chair. Level 2 is just your fingertips, and level 3, your hands will be hovering. Again, so that you can see me, I'm just going to be to the side, but I'll show you that hand position on one side. We are going to sit our hips back, keeping that chest lifted, using that chair for support as much as that you need. Hips are going back, chest is staying lifted. Good. I'm going to turn to the side so you have a better view of this. Hips back, chest lifted, and only going down as far as it feels comfortable. Maybe today that's all your knees have, so maybe you're not going down all the way. Maybe it's like this. And that is great too. Just do whatever you're able to do today. And I like putting my hands forward, kind of counterbalances my hips going back. Now, very rarely do people say that squats are their favorite exercise. So if it's not one of yours, that's okay. But so functional and so important in our daily life. To be able to get on and off a chair, to get on and off the toilet, which is very important in our independence. To be able to climb stairs. Good. So I'm sure right now you are thanking me for doing squats, right? Let's see 2 more. And last one. Okay, give that a shake. Great job. Okay, let's move into shoulders, our next biggest muscle group in our upper body. So we're going to take our band, and this is going to be a shoulder and upper trap exercise. I'm going to try just with 1 foot right now. It's a little bit easier than having both feet. Both feet will be a lot of resistance on the band. If I was to just step on it with 1 foot, just a little bit easier for us to do it that way. Let's bring those hands to about chest height and then slowly lower back down. Hands come up to about chest height. Good. Yeah, that's about right for me. If you've got a little bit weaker band, you might be able to stand on it with both feet. Good. This is our upright row, working our middle of our shoulders as well as our upper neck, which really helps us if we tend to get sore or tight upper neck muscles. This will strengthen that over time. So this one here, if you're a little unsteady on your feet, you might be choosing to do this one seated, because we really can't have the hands in front holding on to the chair. So maybe checking in, just how are we feeling with that? Do we need to do this seated, or do we feel comfortable doing it in standing? Let's see, 2 more. And last time. Very nice. Okay, give that a shake. Okay, I'm gonna keep my band underneath my feet right now. I'm gonna actually put both feet under it. So I'm gonna move my band under, step on it with my second foot. I feel like I can have a little bit more resistance for my bicep muscles. So, but no, you can always stand with both feet. Really quick way to make it easier is to stand on the band with one foot, or you could just do one side at a time. Let's again think about those ABCs of posture: chest lifted, chin tucked, and let's bring the hands up towards the shoulders and then slowly lower back down. Good. Boy, and I do have a really tough band here today. I've grabbed a black and I'm feeling that's just a little bit too much for me today. So I'm actually gonna switch to just that one foot. That feels better. Good. And again, you could do this seated, or you could do this standing, depending on how you feel your balance is today. I do encourage you as much as possible to do your exercises in standing position, just better for our back and our hips to do some standing throughout our day, especially as we're doing our exercises. And let's see, 2 more. No, you can stop sooner if you've had enough. You can stop with me after 1 more, or if you feel like you've got a little bit more in you, do maybe 2 or 3 more and release that. Good. Okay, let's give those arms a little bit of a stretch. Good. And you've got a little bit of a view of our cat Rose here today. She's making a brief appearance. Good. She's kind of a little bit of a tyrant, so hopefully she doesn't do anything embarrassing here today. Okay, let's grab our band once more. Oh, grab a drink. You know what? I grabbed one right before class and we haven't really taken one since. Really important to stay hydrated as we're exercising too. Let's grab our band. We're gonna take our band and we're gonna cross to the opposite side. So in this case here, my band is in my right hand. I'm gonna cross to the left side of my chest and I'm gonna bring that band across. So my hand is crossed in front and then I'm gonna grab the band here and I'm gonna pull straight down. I'm gonna extend down and come back up. I did flip my video. I'm just not sure if it's gonna be mirror imaging the same for you today or not. So, but opposite arm, cross to the other side of the shoulder, and then that same side is just gonna pull straight down. And once again, if you're feeling like, boy, I've just maybe had enough almost, I feel like I could sit down, feel free to sit on the front half of your chair here right now. But if you're feeling okay to stand up and do your exercises, and stay standing. Good ABCs of posture and remembering to breathe. And last one. Very nice. Okay, let's switch sides. So band in the other hand. I'm going to cross to the opposite side shoulder. Bring that band around. Get your hair out of the way, otherwise it gets trapped in your band. And then again, pull straight down. This is working our tricep muscles. Our triceps are our muscles that when you wave, they tend to wave back. So just strengthening those a little bit. Our triceps really help us if we're, say, pushing up out of a chair. They help us open doors if we're pushing a door open. So this is also they're all fantastic muscles to work, but this one is a really good one here. I really like our triceps. Okay, I'm gonna do about 2 more. Stop if you're ready to stop or keep going with me. And last time. Very nice. Okay, give that a shake. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. We're being really efficient with time here today, trying to sneak in our workout in only 30 to 35 minutes, which is definitely doable. Okay, so we've hit all of our major muscle groups in our upper body. Let's do some more leg strengthening combined with balance work. So once again, I'm going to encourage you to stand behind your chair. Level 1, you need that chair for support, so you're holding onto your chair. Level 2, fingertips only, and level 3, you want a bit of a challenge for your balance, so your hands are going to hover above. I'm going to stand to the side so you can see my legs. Let's start with a hip abduction. So we're going to lift our leg up to the side, leading with our heel versus our toe, and slowly lowering back down. Let's switch to the other side. Great. And we're alternating sides because this is good for our balance. This is good for our hip strategy, and as we walk, we know we have to transfer our weight from one hip to the other. So we're alternating sides so we get some of that movement in our hips as we're walking. I'm going slow and controlled. You can see I'm trying my level 3 for my hand hovering over my chair. If I ever feel like I'm a little unbalanced, I can just touch down. And then once again, are you leading with the heel versus the toe? It feels completely different when you lead with your toe. You probably couldn't see that. It feels completely different when you lead with your toe than when you lead with your heel. So try to lead with your heel versus your toe, feeling it a little bit more in the abduction or abductor muscles, the side of the bum versus our hip flexors if we lead with our toe. Good. Slow and controlled. Make sure you're breathing. So challenging our balance and working on leg strengthening here. So I love some of these where we get to double dip and work both at the same time. And last one. Great. Okay, give that a little bit of a shake. Good. So that was the side. I find our front is already pretty strong, so we're not going to overwork those front ones, but let's work some of our back muscles or gluteus maximus muscles. So once again, pick that level on your chair. Level 1, you need the chair for support. Level 2, fingertips, and level 3, hands hovering. Leg is going to come straight back and then slowly lowering. Again, alternating sides. And you can see I'm standing up nice and tall. I'm not arching my back. I'm not leaning forward. And slow and controlled, we'll work a little bit more of that strength and challenge our balance just a little bit. Still thinking about our ABCs of posture, abdominals in, bum tucked, chest lifted, and chin tucked. I've also heard people say, think about an imaginary string pulling us just a little taller. That's another great cue. Great, and let's give that a little shake. One last leg strengthening / balance exercise is for our calf muscles and our tibialis anterior. So find that hand position that works best for you. Let's rock up into our tippy toes and then slowly rock back onto your heels. This is where I sometimes need just a little bit of help from my chair. And again, come on up. And slower and more controlled, always more challenging, better for our muscles than going fast. We're not challenging our muscles, not really challenging our balance. So nice, slow, and controlled. Okay, let's see, 2 more. And last time. Great. Oh, fantastic. That was 3 more leg strengthening and balance exercises that will help us with leg strength and balance in our everyday life. I'm going to again turn my chair so that you can see me a little bit better here. We're going to do some abdominal things to strengthen our core. So let's start by having those hands resting on our chair or on our thighs in front. We're going to slowly lean back, keeping that chin to the horizon, and then slowly come all the way back up. Again, nice and slow, come back. My back isn't going to touch the back of my chair because I'm leaning on sitting on the front half of my chair. Now, if you're thinking, oh, this isn't very hard, I think I can work a little harder, you could cross your arms in the front. Or you could take those fingertips, place them behind the head, and do the same thing. So you always have options. I'm going to go back to the hands crossed in front. That's kind of the middle of the road one. And again, making sure that we're still breathing, not holding our breath, and keeping that back pretty neutral. So we wouldn't want to round our back, for example. Keep that back neutral. And let's see, 2 more. And last time. Very nice. And then just a little bit for our obliques along our side. So I'm going to sit square in my chair here this time. Let's start with one arm up, and we're going to bring that armpit and hip together here, and then release. Armpit and hip together, and release. You'll notice my knee is lifting a little bit, but what I don't want to have happen, I don't want to be a big knee lift and knee to elbow. We don't want that. That would be working our hip flexors. We want to work our obliques. Hip flexors are already a really tight, strong muscle. So I'm going to bring my armpit to my hip or my elbow to my hip, squeezing along the side. Let's see, 2 more on this side, and then we'll switch sides. Okay, let's do the other side here now. Are you still breathing? We tend to hold our breath as we're doing our exercises, so just a reminder, keep breathing. Great. Okay, fantastic work here today. We always want to end our exercises with some stretches, so let's extend one leg out in front, and we are going to roll those shoulders back and down and thinking about hinging at the hips versus rounding out the spine. Getting a nice stretch all through the back of the leg here. Let's lift that toe up nice and high, getting just a lovely stretch all throughout the back of that leg. So you might feel that in your hamstring. If you really lift that toe, you might feel it a little bit more in the calf muscle as well. And let's release that. Let's switch sides. Other foot forward, hinging forward at the hips. Nice stretch through the back of the leg. If you'd like to see that from the side here, it looks like this. And our muscles always relax so much better and stretch better if we breathe through our stretches. Someone once told me that the difference between yoga and this sort of stretch is that in yoga we breathe. And I would say, well, in this we should be breathing as well. So that's really not the difference between the two. We should be breathing during our stretches, whether they're yoga stretches or regular stretches. Good. And let's release that. Okay, let's cross one leg over the other. So depending on your mobility of your hip, some of us have a little bit more mobility than the others. So we're sitting on the front half of our chair. We can cross at the ankle. We can slide that foot up. Maybe we're able to get that foot to just below the knee and we're gently pressing on the inner thigh here a bit. Or maybe you've got pretty good range of motion of the hips and you're having that foot cross at the knee. And then again, I have pretty good range of motion of my hips. I'm gonna gently press on the inside of that leg. I'm not harming my knee by placing my hand on my knee. I'm opening up through my hip by gently pressing on the inside of my leg there. Good. Great, and let's release that. Let's switch sides. Again, crossing at the ankle, crossing at the base of the knee here if you'd like, or crossing above. Oh, this is one of my favorite stretches I've got. Always have tight hips, so this feels really good. And let's release that. I'm gonna grab one more quick drink. So grab a quick drink of water if you haven't lately. No, you can always grab a drink at any time during your Forever in Motion class. But at the very least, when we take a drink, you should be taking a drink too, but feel free to take more. This one, let's swivel to the side. I'm gonna hold on to the back of my chair and we're gonna wiggle that back foot back as far as we can. I like to say if you're kicking your neighbor behind you, you're doing this right, because we want that knee, if we can, to be back past the hip, if we can. If you're like this, I'm not sure you're going to get much of a stretch through the front of the thigh, so try to wiggle that foot back as far as you can. I'm going to reach it way back. Getting a nice stretch here through your hip flexors and then down into your quadriceps. And I'm gonna sit up nice and tall, take a few breaths. Good, look at us, we're just almost at that 35-minute mark. So this is great timing if you've just got a short half an hour, 35 minutes for a workout. Let's take a nice deep breath in, bring that arm up and reach that arm up to the side, getting a little bit of a stretch through the side body at the same time here too. Good, and release that. Okay, let's get the leg stretch on the other side here before we add the arm. So again, hanging onto the back of the chair, take that other leg back as far as you can, nice stretch, feeling that in the front of the hip and then down into the quadricep. Sitting up nice and tall. And then once you've got that stretch managed, let's lift that arm up, reach that arm up, getting a nice stretch through the side of the body as well. Great, and release that. Good. Okay, come back to center. You can stay seated, or if you feel okay to stand up here for our last couple upper body stretches. One arm across the front. We're gonna have the other arm at the elbow and then just gently press it across, getting a nice stretch through the back of the shoulder. Just being mindful we don't have that shoulder up or shoulder or elbow up towards the chin. Bring it down. And just have that shoulder relaxed as we bring it across the body. Very nice. Let's take that same arm up and back into a tricep stretch. Almost like we're patting yourself on the back for a great job today, and then just gently pressing on the back of the elbow, only as far as it feels comfortable. And release. Other arm across the front. And then take that same arm up and back. Give yourself a pat on the back for a great job today. I know it's sometimes hard to fit it in our day. We've got busy things, lots of things going on. But good that we're still getting it in, even if it's a quick 30 to 35 minutes. Okay, last stretch. Open up through the chest. So take a nice stretch through the front of the body. Again, like I mentioned when we were doing that back strengthening, so much of our day is like this. We want to reverse some of that. So stretching out through the chest. Way to go, everybody. Let's take a couple deep breaths. Inhale all the way up and exhale. Again, nice deep breath in and exhale. And last time. Fantastic work today. Don't forget to have one more sip of water and maybe even try to finish off that water bottle by the end of the next hour-ish kind of thing. Rehydrate after our workout today. Thanks so much for joining me, Kimberly, today, and I hope to see you again next time. Thanks for coming. Have a great day. Bye.